Hey guys, it's Jesse here. Long time no see. I am here in the bowels of Broughton Music Center in my little lab, my teaching studio here once again. And I am here to discuss today the topic of my recent posting, the Three of a Perfect Pair King Crimson cover I did, which was the acoustic solo version that I recorded with my cell phone, kind of on the spur of the moment. And I actually got a lot of great response from it so far, including a couple requests for like a tutorial or a quick lesson on the song. So what I thought I would do today is at least break down the playing mechanics of it. As far as singing and playing at the same time, I may be able to give some tips or pointers, but I'm not a trained singer in that sense. I guess I'm just lucky enough to have some natural singing ability. But as far as singing and playing at the same time, I might be able to discuss some strategies in regards to that. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is just the main theme, I guess you could call it, or the verse section of this song. And again, most of what I'm going to explain here is in reference to Adrian Belew's solo performances of this song, which I think he did primarily with King Crimson, touring in the early 2000s, around 2000, 2001. He would play this live as a solo performance on acoustic guitar. And that's where I originally took the inspiration and the basic arrangement elements for my own performance that I put up on YouTube just about a month ago here. So let's start with the main kind of spider fingers section, I like to call it. Essentially, what we're doing here, this is centered around a C tonality. You could get into like the harmonic basis of it, like what's being implied in terms of chords with this movement, but I think to keep the video at a reasonable length, I'll just really explain the actual physical fundamentals of what I'm doing, how I'm picking, and what frets and strings I'm aiming at here. It's basically, I'll play you a quick figure, and then break it down for you. I'll do it nice and slowly. So that's essentially what that is. And then sped up you have, and that's kind of the iconic part we all know and love. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm using all four of my fingers in this process. Seeing Adrian Belew perform this live, I may be picking this in a different way, and I originally experimented with a couple different picking styles to see what worked for me, and I found that this way I'm using works best, and I'll detail that in a second. It's kind of like a sweep or rake picking style, really. So what I'm doing is I'm taking first my pinky and placing that on a C, one step below the high D at the 12th fret on the D string. So a C right there. Then you're going down to the C an octave below on the E string at the 8th fret. And what I'm doing there is I'm starting with a down pick on that first C, then an up pick on the low C. Then I'm reaching back to an E flat, which is the 6th fret on your A string, and I'm picking up there. So I'm going down, up, down. So far we're just doing a standard alternate picking thing. Then I'm jumping, I'm skipping strings, going all the way up to the G string at the 8th fret, which is another E flat, an octave up. So you can hear that, it's the same note. Okay, so we have down, up, down, up. Now here's where I kind of do the sweep backward thing at this point. When I come back up, and I'll demonstrate with the picking, and then I'll show you the rest of those notes. I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up, up, up. Okay, so again that's down, up, up, up. And I tried alternate picking that last portion when I was learning the song, but I find that just moving straight up the strings at the end there really seems to make it nice and economical and makes it flow real smoothly. So again we have C, low C, E flat, high E flat, and then right there we have an F at your 8th fret of your A string, okay? And then finally we round that out with a B flat at your 6th, I'm sorry, yeah, your 6th fret, B flat on your low E string. So we have C, low C, E flat, high E flat, whoops, sorry, then the F, then the B flat. And so we have this. So that's the idea there with that first kind of segment. Then moving on to where he moves the shape up. He moves up to a whole different position, and this is also using a different set of tools, I guess. It's not the same shape. It's not, I think some people think that this is just one symmetrical shape he's using in all the different positions, and it's true that this is the same shape he uses when he resolves at the end of the chorus to start over, and then he goes back. But only down there, sorry. That's the same as this. But the parts higher up, sorry. You can see that's a different shape. And essentially what this is I'm starting with my pinky at the 12th fret of the D string, or I'm sorry, 12th fret of the G string, so a high G, G octave above open. And this figure in general I find is a little trickier to play cleanly and with clarity than the first position, the first motive. This is a little more cramped. And it's easier to make things sound choked if you're not careful and relaxed with it. So you have the G at the 12th fret of the G string. Then you're going back to that F at the 8th fret of your A string, so you're string skipping, you're skipping over the D string. And then you're jumping up, you're staying on the A string, but you're jumping from the F to an A flat. Basically, this is like, it's kind of outlining an F minor chord. You can hear. He's just breaking up an F minor chord into you know, an arpeggiated kind of pattern here. So there you have that G, F, A flat. And then you have the, you have that, oh, what is that? The A flat. Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically going from, sorry, I'm like thinking in real time here. You're going from the G, but instead of moving up just a half step right there, which would be nearly impossible to do, because you'd have to jump your pinky back. Instead, and you can see he does this when you watch him do it live, he reaches for this A flat, which is up at the 9th fret of your B string. So you got, see what I did right there? I'm doing that instead of, so it achieves the same result, but it's a lot more smooth, you know, and easier to grasp. So you have the D, F, A flat, E flat, and then right here we have an A, another A reinforcing that A minor, we have another F reinforcing that F minor, you know, that root sound. So we have D, F, A flat, B, E flat, and then just hitting another octave F again. So and my picking is exactly the same for this. It's uniform basically throughout all these arpeggiated sections. I'm going down, up, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up, up, up. And then really the only other section of this song that involves these arpeggio patterns is kind of at the turnaround of the verse. He just goes up a step from here. So instead of starting on your D, instead of starting on your G on the 12th fret of the G string, you're playing an A starting on the 14th fret of the G. And it's exactly the same pattern. This is exactly... very hard to play, and I'm probably not using the right guitar for this. I'm using a big dreadnought, but using like a concert body or something with a thinner body is generally easier to do. And this guitar is kind of a thick neck too, this Washburn, but yeah. There you go, you get the idea. So essentially, I'll play that whole kind of progression relatively slowly for you, the whole kind of verse section. Right, singing. Then this is where he goes to the back to the original. Then he jumps up, back down, step, to the original. So that's really it. I know there were some dud notes in there. Sorry, it's hard to like think and talk and play at the same time, but hopefully you get the idea. Really, another way you could think about this almost, this verse section, again without getting too much into the theory of it, is you can almost think about this as like a bizarre blues progression, right? Because a blues is like a 1, 4, 5, you know. So if we're doing like a blues in the key of C, you know, this is our 1, we would go to an F for the 4. Back to the 1, to the 5, to the 4, to the 1. And watch what happens here. Here's the C, the 1. To the 4. Back to the 1. To the 5. Down to the 4. Back to the 1. So it's just like, it's just a bizarre prog rock tricked out blues progression basically. At least the verse. The chorus really doesn't have any semblance with to blues, but that's kind of a contrast. But again, that whole verse section is really just a blues outline, essentially. That's all it is. So that's essentially the verse section for you. And in just a second, we'll talk about the chorus section to 3 of a Perfect Pair.